Hey, what's up, everybody? We are going live. Are we in a crypto bear market? And the sentiment is very fearful right now. Everybody is tripping out. Let's get right on to the charts. So this is the news that we're seeing. I just wanted to Google what's kind of being spewed right now, and a ton of horrible news. I mean, $1 trillion wiped from the market cap, a ton of fear, a ton of crashing. This is from traditional markets. Stocks open lower, and we're going to take a look at the S&P as well. I'm just going to get this up on my phone so I can take questions until I get a better setup where I have multiple screens, which I do over there, but not here. So, okay, awesome. Let's do it like that. Awesome. So stocks open lower after worst week since 2020 as investors await Fed meeting. Stocks opened sharply lower Monday, which I wanted to do a live for Monday open so we can take a look at that. Extending declines after major indexes logged their biggest weekly fall since 2020. And that was Black Thursday crash, which we saw after COVID. And we are seeing extreme lows pretty much very similar to that crash. A meeting of Federal Reserve policymakers, which will conclude on Wednesday, which everybody's looking forward to, remains in focus, with central banks expected to lay the groundwork for a rate increase at its March meeting. Investors will also keep a close eye on the threat of a Russian attack on Ukraine. So let's take a look at the crypto markets right now. Everything is red. Honestly, bloodbath happening. So this is the S&P 500. We are going to just take a quick look at it. I thought we might get a bounce here because usually you can get a nice bounce off the daily 200 EMA, but look at, we're still dumping. We are dumping hard right now. So if we take a look at that, we are about 4% down for the day. I really thought we would get a dump. Look at how oversold we are on the S&P 500. Look at how much fear there is. The last time we were that oversold was literally March 2020, Black Thursday, the COVID crash. So we're seeing extreme fear right now in traditional markets, in this equity market for the S&P 500. Actually, the QQQ put an all-time low. US hundreds putting all-time lows. Let's take a look. That's nuts. Everything is crashing right now. So as I go back to just mentioning this, I just want to touch on a few things before we move on to Bitcoin. But when we did break this daily EMA and we came down this low, the traditional markets gave us like once in a lifetime opportunities. We saw crazy opportunities here. And not only that, we bounced back into all-time highs. Bitcoin recovered and bounced back into all-time highs. So it's very possible for us to just bounce back into all-time highs. It might take us some time to chop down here, but I'm not sure we will go that low again. I'm not sure we'll go down that extreme because some of these trades and opportunities are like I said, once in a lifetime opportunities. I think that everybody is expecting some sort of huge crash so they can load up. And a lot of people were on the sidelines here and missed out. I don't think the market's that easy. It'll give them a second chance this soon. But we'll see what happens. So let's skip on to Bitcoin. I just joined Glassnode, so I have access to some on-chain analysis. So I want to share some of this Glassnode stuff with you guys, and it's just interesting to see. So this is, we're going to go over specifically on Bitcoin, and you can see the number of addresses with a zero non-balance. In 2018, when we crashed, when we went into a bear market, you can see the addresses for Bitcoin. The activity on the network just drastically dropped. You can see right here, but we're actually making all-time highs. With the price dropping, we're making all-time highs. The environment in 2017, 2008 was completely different than it is today. And you don't have institutions and countries literally buying Bitcoin. So We're breaking all-time highs in the number of addresses. If we look at addresses with Bitcoin now, we can see that while the price is dropping, so if we go for the last 2 years just to see it more clearly, while the price is dropping since November, we've had a huge increase in people buying Bitcoin. It is I don't want to say it's a little amount. The Wolf of Alt Streets. Hi, my name is Benny. Hey, what's up? Thank you for joining, Benny. If you have any questions, post them below. But you can see that the amount of buys coming in is increasing. So the sentiment, the type of environment we had in 2018 where it just completely stopped. And let's actually take this back to 2018. So 2018 right here. Yeah, we had, no, where is 2018? Right here. Yeah, it completely stopped. You can see the buying completely stopped. The amount of fear that we saw back then was just nuts. Here we have it breaking all-time highs. People are still stacking Bitcoin. If we see it 0.1, same thing. 2018, we had a huge drop of buyers, of activity, and now we're breaking all-time high. Shrimps are still stacking Bitcoin. Retail is still stacking Bitcoin. Let's take a look at one Bitcoin, and then we can see that. Just taking a look here, yeah. Honestly, they started selling here, which isn't bad, and now they're accumulating. And let's take a closer look. I want to take a closer look at this. So this was July 21st. This was basically November right here, where we started coming down on Bitcoin price. And you can see that the buying is coming back strong. So I like to see this. This is huge divergence. We're seeing price come down, but the amount of buyers or the types of buyers stacking Bitcoin. I don't think the 0.01, 0.1 in one Bitcoin buys will create a huge amount of supply shock, but you're just seeing the types of buyers. They're not afraid. They're stacking, they're buying. They're probably more educated. Let's take a look at 10. It's kind of flatlined with Bitcoin coming down. And then you have the higher wallets, 100, 1K, and they've been selling. So these whales, you could call them, I would say 1,000 plus, we're generally selling at the top. You can see here they bought, so they're a lot smarter in my opinion. They're more active. You can see they're accumulating, price goes up, they're selling, and price is going down, they're selling with price. And then you have the 1,000 Bitcoin wallets here, which just sell in strength, and they're kind of just which Willie Woo did mention, when you have these large wallets buying a ton, you can expect price to go up because they rarely buy large amounts. They're already whales. They're just offloading in strength at high prices. So let's go look at some of the other on-chain analysts stuff that I found. This is the first time I use Glassnode, not going to even lie. I just signed up and some of their shit is awesome. So I'm going to start using it more. This info will be beneficial to my technical analysis, and it's just good knowing kind of the analysis I never had. I think it's cool pairing this stuff. So stablecoin supply ratio. You can see here the amount of stablecoin is at all-time highs. While Bitcoin is tanking and the whole crypto market is tanking, the crypto market, not the crypto market, stablecoins are at all-time highs. There's a lot of powder ready to buy whatever they want. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, whatever you mention, whatever they want to accumulate. This is the MVRZ score. So this is to assess when Bitcoin is over or undervalued relative to its fair value. When market value is significantly higher than realized value, it has historically indicated a market top, red zone, while the opposite has indicated market bottoms, green zone. So you can see here, this, as it mentions, is indicating a red, so sell-off. And you can see we are slowly working our way to the undervalued. And as soon as we get down to these low prices, you can see Bitcoin is extremely undervalued here, here as well. And now we're coming down almost back into the green, which we haven't since March 2020. And that was an awesome buying area. And then I want to share, is this the addresses with non-zero balances? Yeah, we're hitting all-time highs with addresses. I've already shared that. Let's get into the technicals. wanted to show you guys, yeah, we did wipe a ton of money, about 2 billion. We're at about $3 trillion here, and now we're at 1.5. So wiped off $1.5 trillion. I think everybody's eyeing this bottom right here. And I'll show you what I mean on Bitcoin. Everybody is eyeing this zone. In the video previously, I mentioned, I went over Bitcoin a few times. So I said, this is a strong support area. I'm hoping for a bounce. I did go long. I did go long, honestly. I used stop losses, of course, for all my trades. And then I got stopped out. Lost a little bit of money. And now I'm looking to reposition. This is a clear downtrend. We are down 60%. About 53%, sorry, not 60%, about 53%. And the drops in this uptrend were way different than what we got last bull run. So last bull run, we did get, I'm screwing things up here. Last bull run, we did get a lot of drops, and they were about 35 to 40% in each drop. So here, 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 here. When we got to the top, we had a huge blow off top, and then we dropped about 70%. We dropped off about 70%, but we had a huge bounce. We bounced back about 100%. And you can see here when we had this COVID crash as well, and I want to bring up the RSI on the daily, and then I'll go back to the weekly. Like, look at how oversold we are. Are we going to bounce from this price specifically? Maybe not, probably not, but we are in an oversold area, and Bitcoin doesn't stay there for too long, as you can see here, and as you can see in March. When we get to these oversold areas, everybody's panicking. Everybody's looking for further drops. They're calling, and I'm seeing some crazy calls. I put bids on 14K. We have so many areas to break down before we even start talking about $14,000, $15,000, and $20,000. If we go back to the general topic, are we in a bear market? Any asset dropping about 55, 53%, it's generally not good. I think the stated thumb rule is if it drops 20%, you can assume that it's bear. But with Bitcoin, it is especially more extreme. I wouldn't be just randomly going into a position here. You'd want to find some support. This broke down here, and I'm looking at this next. Everybody is looking at this area and kind of looking for us to wick in. A lot of people have orders here trying to catch the bottom. So there's a few things that I'm looking at right now. Either we don't bounce off of there, and it's very hard not to even think that, because we still have 2 days till the Fed meeting on Wednesday. We still have a lot of time, and that could be a horrible day with just bad news, and we can get a dump. Who knows? It's hard to say. The sentiment right now is crazy. And if we're actually talking about that, let's take a look. You can see extreme fear, 13 yesterday at 11. I think tomorrow will be worse. It's hard to say. And if we look at the graph from 2018, we're pretty much at the bottom. Like we had right here a low of, let me see if I can get that, 11. No, it was lower, maybe 9 right here. And we're pretty much at extreme lows, extreme fear. And this is the time to start looking for opportunities. A lot of people have their hands up, not looking or doing anything. And this is the time I think you should be looking for awesome plays, where you could be looking for your favorite altcoin or looking for an awesome setup. So I think we are going to potentially bounce in this area. It's hard to say exactly where, but I think with so many people watching this, and if I mean, if the stock market, if the equity markets keep dropping, I think Bitcoin will get dragged. If we clear this area, I'm honestly looking at 24, 25K. That's like my worst case scenario. If we break these lows right here, that's where I would be expecting. But the thing is, if we break this, I wouldn't be really confident in the market anymore. It would be really wacky, because you can see when Bitcoin is coming, and let me get a brush, is coming in this area, we're getting bought up very quickly. Like, not only bought up, but it's shooting back up very quickly. So there's a lot of demand here. And you can see when we bounced here, we just exploded to the upside. There's a lot of demand here. I feel like there's a lot of buying power here. We may see some sort of bounce, and I'm expecting Bitcoin to bounce after some sort of, 53% drop without any sort of relief, or without any sort of, decent bounce. Honestly, I don't think any asset needs to give you a bounce, but with the way Bitcoin moves, I'm expecting a complacency bounce where it'll trick people into believing we are going to continue to bull market, and then we might drop or just consolidate for a little bit of time. So I am thinking that if we do get in here, there's a ton of people that are just trying to buy this area. So worst case, if it breaks and we get rejected, this would be the next area, given that we know Bitcoin has never retraced back from previous all-time highs. So do I think we are going to break 20 grand? I really don't. I really don't think we're going to break 20 grand. I think the worst case would be $24,000. Sorry, I can't read Russian or nice site is what I'm reading. Thank you. But yeah, this is not looking good. This honestly surprised a lot of traders, including myself. There's a lot of sell signals, which I kind of ignored. And I'm heavy on taking profits. If you're in the Discord, I always promote taking profits, and I always take my profits in Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I failed to take them into stables. So I'm a heavy believer in the market. I think that if we do go into bear market here, bear markets will give some of the best opportunities where you can build and stack. You can, accumulate at cheap prices. This is Ethereum. We are seeing really concerning death cross right here. We have literally got pretty much rejected here. This is an awesome short and broken down. You saw in my last video, I mentioned if Ethereum doesn't hold this price, it's going to dump hard. If Ethereum doesn't hold this support right here, it will dump hard, and that's what we got. These are the next levels I'm looking at. The $2,000 level, which is kind of will act as a huge support in my opinion. And if we break that 2,000, then it would be these lows right here. And that's kind of the same thing I'm seeing with Bitcoin. Everybody's expecting it kind of to come down to this right here, where they can just like Hail Mary long, expect it just to kind of bounce back to this channel right here. I mean, if it was that easy, everybody would do it. We're going to honestly see what happens, but everybody thinks we're in this kind of prolonged channel until we break out. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just expecting after a large drop like this, we should see some sort of relief bounce. So if you really wanted to get out, I mean, not financial advice, but I think with the Fed meeting on Wednesday and the huge drop in the S&P, like there should be some sort of bounce like we've seen right here. Best case, we get that V, right? Quick recovery. And if not, we'll keep dropping down. Maybe we'll consolidate for a little bit, and then we will hopefully break to all-time highs. Like, let's talk about this. When we did break into this mini bear market, we bounced back into all-time highs. We bounced back with Bitcoin breaking into all-time highs with a lot of strong assets. So it's pretty normal, especially after like doing crazy returns, NFTs, altcoins, dog coins. People made millions to billions of dollars. And a lot of people were still waiting for some sort of alt market, but we've been in this crazy ass bull run. So what do you think about Pulse Chain and PulseX coming out in a bear market? Is it a good or bad thing? I think personally, with Hex trying to be, or not trying to be, but people say Hex is a hedge against Bitcoin. And when Hex Bitcoin goes down, Hex goes up. I mean, that's not the case right now, because I saw Hex in the corner right here. Yeah, exactly. It's down 8%. I mean, they just did have their sacrifice and things like that. So a lot of Hex has been sent off. And I don't think the use of people aren't buying Hex for the sacrifice anymore, and they won't need to buy Hex. They won't need to buy, like, they're probably not eyeing Hex right now in this bloodbath, is what I'm trying to say. I think that while it launches in the bear market, if we're in a bear market, don't want to say that. For myself, I think it would be good because, one, I can accumulate more Pulse Chain, and people who didn't get heavy in the Pulse Chain sacrifice can accumulate. Also, I think that we won't see a huge those green candles on launch, because it's launching at 0 cents. So essentially, the first day it gets launched, it's going to be up hundreds or thousands of percent, because it starts at 0. So I think if we continue to bleed out, we're not going to see an insane, pump the first day, and we might not see huge gains, which would be good. More people can accumulate. Maybe it's people are very fearful and dump their Pulse Chain and PulseX at launch, giving opportunities for other to scoop it at cheap. Maybe it'll have more of an organic growth rate. Another point is, everybody who did sacrificed at good rates, right? Because they changed it out for US dollar. So I sacrificed 6 Ethereum a few weeks ago, maybe December, right before the new year. So if we look at that, at least I got in a good rate for my Ethereum. So December right here, probably around 3,600, probably 35, 34 is what I remember. And that's what I sacrificed at. So I got another basically 11 times 5, 6 Ethereum, $6,600 on top of my purchases, because they rated me for US dollar value, not Ethereum. So that's a plus. Everybody who got in and sacrificed Hex or ETH or Bitcoin weeks ago got in at an awesome dollar rate. So what are the Launchpad tokens you should keep an eye on or accumulate in the dip? Honestly, for Launchpads, I have just stuck with Dex Force Ventures. It's a higher end group with 100,000 tokens. With the dump right now, I think it's like $30,000. But for smaller Launchpads, I honestly would have to look into them. I wouldn't really recommend jumping into Launchpads right now. So Launchpads, the tokens are going to shit. There's a ton of Launchpads. We're going to see, I think, after this dump, which ones really stand out or kind of survive and can bring high-end projects. So if we go into a bear market, Launchpads will stop bringing volumes of projects and start bringing more quality. So I want to see better quality projects. And I noticed with Launchpads, because I work very closely with a lot of projects, and the vesting schedules have changed. We saw a lot of dumping on these new projects. So vesting schedule has changed, and it's a lot longer. So you're not getting your tokens for months. And with the sentiment of the market, I'm not too down for that. I want strong projects, and I want to make sure that I can remove my initial, usually on TGE. So that's my answer. I'd kind of just wait to jump into anything, because where we are right here, if we break this down, the whole market will retrace. And we're seeing right here that we actually bounced off this, and I thought maybe we wouldn't. But what this tells me is a lot of coins, altcoins, will be moving back into Bitcoin. a lot of people start taking losses on their altcoins and reposition back into Bitcoin. So you will have the opportunity to get awesome alt prices. I don't think the dump is over. I wish it is, but I just don't think so. And you'll be able to get into awesome positions while alts bleed. So if you haven't done yet, maybe turning some of your altcoins into Bitcoin, because that's what will retain the most value, in my opinion. If we do go full-blown bear, then Bitcoin will hold its value the best. As you can see right here, Bitcoin's down 5%, and then you have the whole market, like other altcoins, Ethereum down 12, it's almost triple, Litecoin down double, and that's just, let's actually look at CoinMarketCap. There's this awesome tool to show you the different amount, the relation of all altcoins against Bitcoin, and then how far they've dropped from the top. And in a bear market, Bitcoin holds the most value. So you can see right here, Bitcoin's down 18% in the last 7 days, and then everything else is almost double. So Ethereum is down 30, BNB 25, Cardano 31, XRP, and then there you go. So if we're looking at coins, Bitcoin is actually one of the coins that retains the most value, as crazy as that sounds. So you can see here, like Near, Uniswap, Chain, these guys are down 40%, Algo 40%. And then you have Bitcoin at 15. So if we continue to drop down this hard, this quick, a lot of altcoins, as you guys can see right on the chart, not making this up, are turning back into Bitcoin. They're repositioning them back into Bitcoin. And that's usually what you see. And this is looking like it's going to keep going, honestly. So aside from that, if you guys have any questions, if you're like very fearful or emotional, join the Discord, send some messages. Right now, it's kind of not the move to go all in into these positions. It's still very uncertain, especially with the meeting on Wednesday. I don't think we're in a bear market. I think we're seeing a huge shakeout, especially driven by equity markets and stock markets. And I'm hoping the Feds can, the Fed can bail us out on Wednesday. We see like awesome news. Honestly, I don't follow it too much, so I'm not really sure what needs to be done, what needs to be said. But, Sleepy Biden, like this is where Trump would come up and shine. And, I don't really even like the guy, but if he can, save the stock market, the equity markets, and Bitcoin, then that's the guy we need. Because Sleepy Biden hasn't done shit. But aside from that, I don't want to start going into politics. Thank you guys for watching. I thought Pulse was doing a value snapshot at the end of the sack face. It might be. I'm honestly not sure when they're doing their snapshot, but I mean, wouldn't you? You can get some free p-hex, but I'd rather retain dollar value than get a free airdrop. That's myself, because I'd rather just buy the coins at cheap. So I don't need to hold hex that's being just dumped. And then after the snapshot, you can guarantee that shit's going to get dumped. Like after the snapshot, people are going to dump the shit out of hex, and we're in a horrible market state. So where is the bottom? It's hard to say. It's hard to call. I appreciate it, guys. I think the next video, we're going to take a look at altcoins. I want to stream just a bunch of altcoins, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 of them. And then we'll start looking for some good bottoms, because that's where the money's made. Let's look for some altcoins that can bounce back the hardest, that have fell down the most. We'll buy when everybody's fearful. So that's pretty much my strategy. NFTs are holding up decent. If you guys have any questions, post them below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just wanted to do a live stream because the market is shit right now, and it's needed. So enjoy the day, guys. Don't dwell.